Hey, good morning, everybody. I want to welcome all of my friends that are watching this on Facebook, LinkedIn, as well as my students that are watching this in this Zoom session that we're doing. Today is Saturday, and we're off to a great start. August is going to be a fabulous month for all of you. Want to remind all of my students that we have a mastermind session at 1 o'clock today. So if you have any particular issues, prospects you're talking to, things that unresolved questions or anything like that, you can ask them here, or we'll dive deep into them in our mastermind session. Also want to say to all of my students and friends that live in Florida, especially our friends that live in the southeastern tip of Florida. We dodged another one. Tropical storm Debbie is heading to Florida, but it's going to bypass the southeastern tip. Looks like it's going to nail folks on the West Coast. Can I post the link for the mastermind? Sure. Let me. So I put it in the chat. Now, August is my anniversary, 29 years in network marketing. And over the last 29 years, I've watched social networks, AOL, MySpace, Facebook, and now LinkedIn help everyone break through and overcome the greatest obstacle facing everyone in network marketing today, not having qualified prospects to talk to. Today, LinkedIn is 100 times better than Facebook to build your business. Now, 2 weeks ago, we finally introduced and released Max GPT. It is already being called the premier artificial intelligence chatbot for affiliate and network marketers. Now, we had an issue when we first released it, and the credit card processor that we contracted with misled my technical people because it wasn't capable of supporting multiple orders. And so when we released it at the beginning of July, it blew up. We put it back about a week later because they assured us it would be fixed. Blew up again. So for any of you that ordered Max GPT in July. You were added to a matrix because it's an affiliate program, but the order was never fully processed. So we sent out an email about, I guess it was maybe eight or 10 days ago, asking everybody to reorder. And the processor assured us that they were going to be refunding everybody's money. They've been dragging their feet about it. And so if you haven't received a refund yet, we sent out an email with directing you first order it again, and then contact your credit card company and cancel the charge. I'm going to unmute Daryl. Did customer service call you yesterday? Because you have to reorder. Now, artificial intelligence was introduced for the first time in November of 2022. And I am on top of most of the new things that take place that regard to social networks. In fact, a number of my students are constantly feeding me with information and updates because no one person could really be up to date on everything. As a matter of fact, I remember in September of 2015, my good friend George Ruiz, who's a $1 million earner in network marketing, started working with me and following me in the AOL days. As a matter of fact, 3 of his people who are also $1 million earners in network marketing got started back in the AOL days. So George calls me up and he says, Max, LinkedIn has just added live chat. Now, I have always been telling my students that if LinkedIn ever added live chat, stand by for just a second. Hey, Chet, it's nice to hear from you.
What on earth am I doing not taking you up on the LinkedIn?
Listen, no, listen. I'm just starting a class. Give me an hour and I'll call you right back.
Take your time.
All
Thank
right,
you, sir.
all right.
Bye.
It's another one. What am I doing? Not taking advantage of LinkedIn. Folks, when I was building my business on AOL, I bought stock. And AOL was doubling, it was tripling. I made a lot of money with AOL stock. And the thing that made AOL so desirable, and we're talking about 1995, was their live chat. Because this was before you could get long distance phone service for a month for $19. I mean, people were being charged by the hour, by the minute. So people were jumping on AOL, using their live chat feature to communicate with their friends and family. What happened? AOL made so much money that they went and they bought Time Warner. Okay? They bought Time Warner. And because Time Warner was more of a video-oriented company, they went in that direction. And they abandoned what was, frankly, a gold mine. Look at Facebook today. MySpace jumped in and was racing to give everybody a social network where you could have a built-in live chatting feature. And then Facebook got into the race and they were trying to do it too. 2008, MySpace had 380 million people. Facebook had 300 million. The difference between MySpace and Facebook, because it started with schools, made it acceptable to use your name. Prior to that, people used their screen names. They made up names. And Facebook was a more organized, structured social network where it was neat. I mean, you look at the profile, you had all the information in an orderly fashion. MySpace, man, you could move it around, put it anywhere you want. And then Facebook solved the problem. And I watched. MySpace made 5 different attempts to construct a chat feature that would be internal. They were never able to do it. Facebook did it, and at the same time, they launched a mobile application. So now not only could you text directly with people you were connected to, but you could do it on your phone. Those 2 things blew Facebook off the chart. Okay, it was amazing. And frankly, within 2 years, Facebook would grow to 600 million people and MySpace died. Everybody went over to Facebook. So I was always telling people, if LinkedIn, which was originally set up as a repository for resumes, if LinkedIn ever set up a chat feature, buy stock. So George calls me up, says, Max, LinkedIn just added a chat feature. Now I knew it, okay, and I'm working with 4 of my coaching students. We're in LinkedIn. We're playing around with it. I liked it. And I pointed out to George, it's too early because LinkedIn's biggest users are HR people, recruiters, and headhunters. And they're not going to like it because that gives the average person that uses it a chance to deal directly with company owners. We're going to have to wait and see. At the end of the year, LinkedIn stock, they didn't have a good year. LinkedIn stock dropped, but I was convinced that it was going to be a winner. LinkedIn would not abandon it. So in January, I called my stockbroker. Stock was selling for $90 to $93 a share. I asked my stockbroker, how does Merrill Lynch feel about LinkedIn? Merrill Lynch is bullish on LinkedIn. So I had to move some things around, and I ended up with approximately $50,000 worth of LinkedIn stock, anticipating that as chat became more popular, LinkedIn would grow. I was confident. Can't lose. In June, I get a phone call from my stockbroker. He says, how did you know? I said, what are you talking about? He says, Microsoft just purchased LinkedIn. This was in June 2016. The stock shot up to $198 a share. $198 a share. I bought it for $90. I ended up taking my family on a 2-week cruise on Norwegian Caribbean's newest ship. And we had the Commodore suite. It was unbelievable. Within 6 months, LinkedIn or Microsoft pulled LinkedIn. It was no longer a public company. And since 2016, LinkedIn has literally invested hundreds of millions of dollars converting LinkedIn into Facebook for professionals. Now, in my opinion, they're kind of going off the deep end because they're doing things that are less than professional. They are catering to the woke audience. If you want to know what that means, go and check out their demographics. But the bottom line is you can't ignore the fact that you now have access to 1,080,000,000 professionals. Closer right now, it's closer to 85 million. By the time we start boot camp on Thursday, it's going to be up to 90. There's a reason why everybody is rushing to LinkedIn. The last phone call I got was from a good friend that I worked with 2017 on LinkedIn. He was wild now. I don't know. I don't know whether you heard him. He says, "What am I doing? I need to get back on LinkedIn." So I'm going to call him afterwards, and I know he wants me to coach him again. So here's the deal. If you're not on LinkedIn, you need to get there. LinkedIn is going to enable you to talk to more people. Daryl, I'll give you a call afterwards. And basically what you have to do is you have to reorder. All right. So I'll call you. We'll get some information. We'll get you hooked up. I told Casey about you, but I got to tell you, she's slammed. So for any of you that ordered Max GPT in July, in the first 3 weeks of July, you got to order it again. We sent out a special notice to everybody whose orders were pending. And please don't delay, because when you ordered, you were given a unique affiliate code, and now you're part of a matrix. So whoever told you about it has earned a potential commission. If you've told anybody about it, you've earned potential commissions. But by Wednesday of next week, we have to lock it in. And if you haven't reordered, it's going to totally mess up where you stand in this huge tree of people that ordered. Okay. So don't say we didn't tell you. Now, Max GPT is the result, and I got to tell you, I really didn't want to do this. I was kind of hoping that Chat GPT would solve everybody's problem. In fact, last November and December, we had about 200 people in boot camp use it, and it was deficient. There were things about it that, frankly, I thought they could modify my script. Some of the things with artificial intelligence is amazing. Max GPT will answer your questions. It'll enable you to refine and steer every conversation with a prospect towards your desired result of closing the sale. It'll provide you with the questions to ask your prospects, the scripts to qualify them, and the answers to your prospects' questions, and the language needed to close the sale. Now, here's the thing. We're dealing with a computer, all right? And we have fed all of our scripts, all of our strategies into it. And depending upon the language you use to order, to type in that box, it's gonna go into the database, and it's gonna pull up great information, suggested scripts. What you have to do is modify it a little bit, amend it so that the last thing people see in your message is a question. But it's really going to set you up to impress everybody that you're talking to. You'll be able to download it on your computer, mobile phone. Now, it's going to cost $19.97 a month. Now, over the years, I've watched system sellers, people that build elaborate systems, how to build websites, how to build a blog, elaborate things. And they had affiliate programs. And so the strategy was you could use the program as another thing to sell. So if you're talking to somebody who is looking to make money, you could sell them your system, sell them your program. If they didn't want to buy it, you could sell them on your company, whatever it is, whatever networking company you're doing. If they didn't want to buy it, then you could sell them the system. Brilliant idea. Anybody remember the Empower Network? Well, what happened was putting the system together was complicated. So they get you in for a tiny amount of money, and then they would upsell you, and then they would upsell you, and then they would upsell you to where you're spending $4,000 or $5,000 for this elaborate system. But if you turned around and sold it to somebody else, they paid a hefty commission. So back then, you could actually make more money selling the system than you would make if you signed somebody up in your network marketing business. I never liked that. To me, it was disingenuous because, I mean, I'm here and I've dedicated my life for 29 years to helping people become successful in network marketing, not become wealthy salespeople who are promoting my business. I mean, think about it. My boot camps are promoted on the internet for $5.97. You recommend it to someone, you can make $197, paying out a 30%, 33% commission. So I could have my boot camps filled with people who would eagerly pay it, who would eagerly recommend it, but you make a one-shot sale and it doesn't get you any closer to building your network marketing business. So over the years, I've watched these guys come and go. 6 or 7 years ago, it became obvious to me because the industry is changing. Okay, when I first got started, I was a supplier member for the DSA, Direct Sales Association. My tapes, my books were companies bought them by the thousands and made them available to all of the people that were coming into their business. After about 6 years working with the DSA, they changed their format. My business was off the charts, so I dropped out of the DSA. Still have friends in it. And basically, I've been working with leaders and companies and teams. What happened, something that I never expected, but what are you going to do, was I could be working with a leader in one company. Case in point, I get a phone call from a good friend, John Terhune, who was a top earner in Amway, who called me up, I think maybe the second year that I was doing this. He said, you know, because everybody was interested in learning how to use social media. So I helped John. And he called me up a couple of years later. He's one of 3 master distributors for a company getting started called Kivana. So he was a master. He was one. There were 2 others. And we did a training for his team. And I said, John, I'll put it on YouTube so more people will be aware of it. He said, no, don't do that. I don't want anybody else in the team to know about it. And so I didn't. But a couple of his leaders began to share it with other leaders or other people who brought it to their leaders. That was something I, frankly, never expected. So I get a phone call from another leader, Mark Yarnell, who was an icon in the business. He made millions in Nu Skin. And Mark was all over it. So I ended up training 2 of the 3 leaders in the company. But I'm working with companies now where 1 or 2 of their top earners have it. I mean, right now, for example, Will Zanders is the #1 top earner in his company. And he eagerly shares my training. As a matter of fact, his people are pouring into Max GPT. But if you're not on it, even though he's the top guy in the company, there's a lot of people in the company that are not on his team. And he's not running around telling them about it. Now, it's been 2 weeks since I released Max GPT. And success stories of people using it are already starting to pour in. Using Max GPT gives you convenient instant access to my best training and scripts 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Combined with the power of artificial intelligence, you get immediate quality answers to your questions like, what should I say to someone? When should I say it? Max GPT conveniently lets you tap into my complete database of scripts so you can receive answers to any question about what to say, to make a connection, or start a conversation on LinkedIn, Facebook, or other social networks. You can even use it when you're talking to a prospect on the phone. It'll answer your questions. What do I say to send a connection request to someone on LinkedIn or a friend request on Facebook? What do I say to a teacher or school principal that wants to quit their job and find a new career? What do I say to a fitness instructor looking for a side hustle that was previously failed in network marketing? What do I say to an out-of-work weight loss coach that enjoys helping people but has a negative opinion about network marketing? What you have to do is you have to train Max GPT. As you start putting things in, you're helping to build the database. You and every other Max GPT user is constantly putting new things in. So it's just filling up this database with scenarios, which frankly, I found fascinating. How do I start a conversation with an unhappy network marketer that's looking for a new company? How do I explain what network marketing is to someone that knows nothing about it? And for those of you that have been through my boot camps, we provided you with case studies, we provided you with scripts, but now Now you have access to it online. What do I say when someone says, I don't like network marketing, right? I never had any success with network marketing, or I would never do network marketing again, or network marketing companies and MLMs are pyramids. So for those of you that haven't registered yet, or again, if you ordered before the 20th of July, you need to order again. Or you may have received an email reminding you that you need to order again. Let me pop over here. So go to MaxGPT. Like everything else, things have changed. Yes, watch the video. Yes, I want MaxGPT. Then you have an option. You could sign up for the monthly, $19.97. For those of you that know me, a better deal is the annual. You'll pay for 10 months instead of doing it monthly. And every month, $19.97, you get a bill. It's painless. Or lifetime access. Now, this was something I didn't expect, in that we were originally going to make it available to 200 people. After it blew up and we opened it up again, we had 300 people that ordered it. Now, I understand about 230 people have gone in and reordered it. I'm going to hold it to the original 300. So if you haven't ordered, you need to get in there and do it. And when you do this, it'll take you through the process, which will lead you to our training website. And so what you're going to, and there are some things in there that are going to surprise you, but the main focus is MaxGPT. All you have to do is type in your question. What do I say to a weight loss coach? That's looking for a new job. That's how long it takes. I mean, there's a hole. Now, don't try to do it all at once. Okay, you do it in little bites, so you get exactly. Okay. And that's the way it's going to work. This is going to be a game changer for everybody in network marketing. The order form is different. Now, once you get in there, you're going to be able to check to see who your referrals are, because you refer 3 people, you get it for free. Michael, stand by for just a minute. I'm gonna do a little customer service work myself here.